What's going on, guys? My name is Eddie Pinero, and today I want to talk to you about 5 books that I think every entrepreneur should read in 2020. So, as an entrepreneur myself, I'm the creator of Your World Within and the co-host of the podcast Your Voice to the World, where every week we dive into a book and we extract the concepts that we feel are most important for creatives and entrepreneurs to flourish in their careers and sort of build, sustainable platforms for themselves. And so I've had a lot of opportunity to not only read these books, but learn from certain authors and obtain certain mindsets. So what I want to do based on all of that is take the 5 books that I think are an incredible starting point for any entrepreneur, any creative. They're a very powerful platform to launch off from. So that's what I'm going to do today. Without further ado, the first book on this list is The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. And the reason that's such an incredible starting point is because every entrepreneur knows this, their journey is filled with obstacles, right? That's par for the course. And Ryan Holiday does a beautiful job of, articulating that we shouldn't just be accepting and learn to live with obstacles, but we can take it a step further and use obstacles to grow, to improve, to find the opportunity in them. And so he uses Stoic philosophy and a lot of really important historical figures from Jefferson, Grant, Amelia Earhart, even George Clooney, like a lot of different characters, and how they looked at their problems and ultimately turned them into opportunities. Successful entrepreneurs do that on the regular. It's a great way to get into that mindset, which is why The Obstacle is the Way is my number 1. So the second book on this list is Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. Another crucial read, because part of being an entrepreneur, whether you're building a brand or you have a company, a business, whatever it is, you're messaging, right? You're sharing your story with the world. And he talks about how to position that in a way that makes you credible. It helps you tell your story so that it reaches people, right? Like a big mistake we make as entrepreneurs is we think we're the heroes. And Donald Miller says, no, you are the guides, your customers are the heroes. So you need to position your brand in a way where that takes place, right? You're the Yoda and you're helping the metaphorical Luke Skywalkers. And for me, it was really eye-opening in terms of, I went and looked at everything that, I had done, my website, my social, all of my stuff, and just applied that concept, and I made a lot of important changes. So that is number 2, building a story brand. And then number 3, I'm going to continue the idea of story because it's such an important piece. So the third book is Sapiens by Yuval Harari. And one might think that, maybe this is a stretch, right? How is this applicable to entrepreneurship? Sapiens is essentially about, human beings evolving over thousands and thousands of years and why we do the things we do. But it's incredibly important because we understand why humans act a certain way, why we think a certain way, and it helps us, message and, interact in a way that's beneficial. Human beings are the only life form that can tell stories, right? That sees things that are not there. We create the world around us from visions, right? Or our vision, I should say. So an example he gives is money, right? Money is one of the best stories ever told because it's a paper, it's worthless. You give a chimpanzee a piece of paper, he'll do nothing with it. But human beings, because of the stories that we tell, would do anything for that little piece of paper, right? And that's just one example, but having a solid understanding of why biologically we do things the way we do them is an incredible tool to have in your toolbox. Also, it's a fun read. It's just really informative. So that's my number 3, Sapiens by Yuval Harari. The fourth book, and this one is just a blast of adrenaline, but one of my personal favorites. I've read it 3 or 4 times actually. Relentless by Tim Grover. And in a nutshell, right, Tim Grover is a basketball trainer. He trained Jordan, he trained Kobe, he trained Dwayne Wade, amongst others. And he talks about the way they looked at the world and how that differs from most people, and how excellence requires a different wiring, right? Looking at problems a different way, expecting so much of yourself, doing things that 99.9% of the world would say, no, thank you, that's not me. And it's just a great insight into what it takes. So I would recommend this book to anyone, Relentless by Tim Grover. And then the last one is Extreme Ownership, How U.S. Navy SEALs Lead and Win, by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. And incredible lessons on leadership, right? These are two guys that, were warriors, Navy SEALs, fought in some of the most dangerous places in the world. And so what they do is they take concepts they learn from battle and apply it to leadership, to the corporate world. And just the simplicity and the clarity with which they explain things, right? When things seem chaotic, really figuring out how to take all these pieces in front of you from a leadership standpoint and organize them in a way that's simple and effective. Just an amazing book. Whether you're leading people or you're leading yourself, you are a leader, and there are pieces in this book that will, really benefit your journey. So those are my 5, and I'm going to give you a bonus book because this one kind of tugs at my heartstrings a little bit, but it's also incredibly valuable. Maybe you've read it. It's a throwback. Oh, The Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. My friends, life is a journey, and it's just such a, obviously it's a very quick read, but it's a fun reminder of the trials and the tribulations, not only of entrepreneurship, but life, right? Life is highs and it's lows, and it's you having it all at one moment and then feeling incredibly lost the next, but continuing to push through because you have the ability to do that. You're capable of some amazing things, and sometimes it's fun to go back into your childhood days and just kind of recapture that reminder. So that's a fun one to read. There's videos on YouTube, all the places you'll go, that kind of go through it from the audio book. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it, and let me know in the comments if there's anything that you would recommend to other readers starting out. Like, what are your 5 top books that you would recommend to an entrepreneurship starting their journey, or an entrepreneur starting their journey? I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and check out more books on my weekly podcast, Your Voice to the World. I'll see you around.